As a photographer, I want to know people as a member of their own family might. I want to know the truth about people, but I never expected what I saw. I got my very first documentary assignment from Japanese Playboy to do a story on wealthy, successful couples who are into swinging. Back in 1980, there was a phenomenon going on in New York City, and Plato's Retreat was a club for married couples to go to swing. But the one couple that really stood out for me, they were originally from Sweden, seemed very wealthy, happy, successful, very attached to each other. They also did their swinging lifestyle in their home, in a very beautiful home. And so I wanted to tell their story.
Donna was so easy to have around. She was so free and open. She just fit right in. She talked to anybody. Everybody loved her. So she spent a lot of time with us together. And we became friends.
I would usually go to visit Elizabeth and Bengt whenever they were having parties, and I'd spend maybe 3 or 4 days at a time. Back in the early 80s, it was a very different era. Cocaine wasn't something that people feared at all. And even the police would come to the house, and they would stay and have a cocktail. They saw what was going on. Nobody cared about it. But I started to see signs that were troubling to me. As the months went by, I got a call from Elizabeth, and she was desperate. And she said, Donna, I'm really afraid of Bengt. He's got a .357 Magnum. He's doing all kinds of things that make me feel like I'm going crazy. Can you come to the house? When they met me at the door, I could see things were really bad, that they had both lost a lot of weight. And as soon as I could, I pulled Elizabeth aside and I said, Elizabeth, you have to stop using cocaine. This is what's killing your marriage. This is a cautionary note to photographers who try to interfere with people's lives. You don't know what people are going to do. I didn't know what was going to happen. She went and hid the cocaine, but she thought that she could get away with that, and he went crazy. I was sleeping down the hallway, and in the middle of the night, I could hear Elizabeth screaming bloody murder. So I grabbed my camera and went running down to see what was going on. When I went in, I saw him picking his hand up to hit her. And I'm thinking, if I take a picture, it'll make him stop. I could see my face in the mirrors as I'm taking the picture.
I remember that moment, even though he saw her. He didn't care.
When he went to hit her again, I grabbed his arm and I said, what the hell are you doing? You're gonna hurt her. And he just threw me off like I was a bug, and he said, look, she's my wife, and I'm gonna teach her that she can't lie to me. Everything was happening so fast, and he continued to berate her, to pull things out of the cabinets, to treat her like she was just a little toy.
I've seen him like that many times, and I just know that I cannot act or do anything. I just had to be very calm.
I was so scared. This was something I was unprepared for, but I had a camera. So I knew I had to tell the real story of what was happening. She was on her knees crying, and I said, please, Elizabeth, look at me and tell me what's going on. And she said, you know, I always thought my husband loved me, but tonight he beat me like he's never even touched our dog. And I don't think I can believe in his love anymore. She lay down on the bed and began to talk to him. And I said, that's it. Next morning, I got up and got out of that house as fast as I could. I hid that roll of film in a drawer for those 4 months. I was in total denial.
After this incident, everything just got worse and worse. And he was just laying down in the basement, freebasing cocaine. So I hid the pipe again. And this time he was furious. And my son called the police and said, my dad is beating the shit out of my mom.
A few months later, I started to worry, and I was wondering what's going on. And so I called the house, and that's when he said to me, well, she's not really okay, you see. I've had to put her into a detox, you know, for drugs and alcohol. And I said, well, what about you? You do a lot of drugs. And he said, no, I've got it all under control. She has the problems. At the detox center, there she was with a fresh black eye. Then I saw him put his arm around her so lovingly, and he was pretending like, oh yes, my wife, I adore her. And that's when the light bulb went on for me. And I said, oh my God, no, this is ongoing.
After I would come back to the house, he would just beat me up. I was really, really frightened. And I called the police and I said, just please come over and help me one more time to take all my belongings and leave. And that was the toughest thing I ever had done, because I could just take my little Charlotte, I was 4 years old. I was out on the street with nothing.
She left him and she started the long process of healing. At the time, there were no stories about domestic violence in the news. It was really hard for me to break through the media wall and publish these pictures. John Loengard looked at them and he said, "You have done the impossible. I didn't even think domestic violence was photographable." But still, nobody would publish these pictures. From that point on, I decided I was just going to do a book. I didn't care how long it was going to take me. I was going to show everybody how bad it was. I wanted to see the reality of violence against women and children. People were hungry for it, and it catapulted this whole issue. At one point, when this whole thing was going on with O.J. Simpson, Time magazine took my picture of Rita with the 2 black eyes. They put her on the cover, and then they published the whole edition, including pictures from the bathroom. This was huge. It was now being accepted in mainstream media, and that was a big deal. I've been documenting violence against women 32 years. I would say that being in the bathroom and photographing had an enormous impact on my mind as well as my career. I don't think I would have become such a serious and at times angry photojournalist. Elizabeth is like the ultimate success story. She remade her life. She's proud of what she's accomplished for battered women. Allowing me to take these pictures has helped explode the myths around domestic violence and to show if any woman is being beaten in her home, that's an affront to all of us.
You became a friend in the family, and you knew everything that went on, and I have never hid anything from you.
Now that you're really ready to do this,
Yes, I am.
I couldn't be more happy. I mean, I'm excited for what's going to happen when people really have a chance to hear your story.
I'm ready to tell the story. It's the right time. For me, seeing where I was at that time and to where I am today, I have a lot to be proud of.